Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz here at lunchtime. Brett and Wade with you for the next hour, and we're glad that you join us wherever it is that you tune us in each and every day. Our program brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Get HVAC smart for air that's cool and clean. Call us at Sensagreen, baby.
You do it way better than I do it, so that's why I just
had a lot of practice.
That's it. If you can't do it the right way, then I don't know who can.
That's how you do it right there.
That's it. So, yeah, call on Sensagreen, J.A. Smith Construction, and Russell Do It Center, and we'll talk about them more as we move along on the program. Well, good to see you, man.
Yeah.
We get you on when we can. You're busy and you're all over the place, which is a good thing. But, man, there is a bunch going on right now. This time of the year, we had Jason Caldwell on this morning on the podcast, and it's like Jason said, people go, hey, what do you do in the fall? How do you do it? He's like, fall's not the busy time. He's like, this is the busy time of year when you got everything colliding together, sports ending, portals open, sports that are about to come into playoff action and postseason. You got a lot of moving parts.
Does the portal even close anymore?
I don't think so.
I think it's just permanently open. I mean,
it
really does feel like it. And, I know we're going to talk a lot about that
today. Is there really a portal, I guess, is the question.
That's what I'm saying. I just think that it's just anything goes at this point. I mean, if you're a student athlete, quote unquote, and it's the middle of June and you're unhappy, I still think you can just probably get up and leave. What's the NCAA going to do? Stop you when you sue them?
That's what the kid from Wisconsin did.
Yeah.
The kid from Wisconsin unenrolled and went to Miami, and they were like, you can't do that. And he's like, well, watch me. Because I'm about to do it right now because you can't make me stay at this school. And it was within the window of time where you could transfer in a semester and start classes. Now, again, technically colleges have a window. I worked at one for 27 years that you can't accept a kid past a certain date in the semester. They're not going to be able to get credit for the class. But we all know, Wade, there are exceptions to all the rules.
Class.
And that's another thing. You don't ever hear anybody ever talk about class anymore.
Yeah, is anybody ever academically ineligible anymore?
You remember how often we used to say that and how worried we were going into fall, like, hey, man, they may have to go to summer school or we may have to send them off to Hargraves Military Academy or somewhere like that so they can get their grades. Like, that just went totally away, dude.
The Mississippi JUCO system, right? But listen, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't put it to you like this. I mean, I appreciate everything that Chad Baker-Mazara did for Auburn basketball, and I was cheering him on. I was hoping we were going to win a national championship. We didn't. We got the Final Four. It was great. He played well in the tournament, and I couldn't have been happier. But is he really in college for Scholastics?
I mean, is this going to be his fifth school?
I mean, he's like 38 now.
It seems like it.
So, I mean,
he is 25.
I graduated when I was 25.
Well, okay. Well, but you didn't move to 5 schools, really, did you? Like, seriously, how are you doing? Like, not to go down this rabbit hole, but I saw somebody tweet this out the other day. Like, if we want to be realistic about the academic side, which I think most people have just discredited that, unfortunately, that if you're swapping schools every year, how are you transferring credit? How do you even know what major you're in and what your credits are? I mean, seriously. Do we really think that people are trying to pay attention to that?
No, I don't believe that hardly any of these schools any longer in the major sports are paying any attention at all. You might get some lip service from some coaches who, are preaching that their players have to go to class and you better, and they're at least we're going to discipline you if you don't make it to class. Remember they used to talk about Pat Dye.
Right.
That if you didn't go to class, It was the absolute worst thing that could happen to you.
There's no question.
Discipline-wise at Auburn University and in football. So it's hard for me to believe that people are really taking seriously academic credits, pathways to graduation, majors. I mean, it's almost like that movie Casino, right?
Right.
Where you just keep changing your title. So
Hey, what do you think Jeff Berger thinks about ChatGPT?
You know,
he had to sit out one play in that game. Like Pat, I was like, all right, you want me to discipline him?
Yeah, and it's because oddly enough, he got in trouble at a burger place at Crystal's.
That is crazy.
And his name was Jeff Berger.
Jeff Berger, and he sat out well. Here's the funny story, and I know we're kind of going all over the place, but he said Reggie Slatt was back up to Jeff Berger, and he said, and I told the story. He said, I brought Reggie in and said, you're gonna take the first snap, and you're coming out. Like, there's no argument. It's how it's going to be. This is Jeff's team. I don't care what happened. You're going to go take the first snap. And he fumbled. He fumbled. I think it was against Florida. I'm 99% sure if somebody was correct.
I could not remember.
But I think he comes in there, and the first snap, he fumbled it. And it's like, can you get out fast enough and get Jeff Berger back on the field? So, that game was at home. I'm 99%.
If it was Florida, it would have been 87.
That's when it was.
That was on Halloween night. I was there.
And we beat the dog crap
And we beat Kerwin Bell to death finally. We exercised that demon. It was Emmitt Smith's first year.
That's right.
He played 3 years.
And he came back in 89, and that was his last year at Florida, and he walked out with a towel over his head.
That was the Shane Slack to Watson.
That was on fourth down. Yep.
Boom.
We got some good memories, man.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we just did 45 minutes ago, but I remember all that to a T. That's kind of weird.
I was at both those games.
I was not at the 89 one. I was at the 87 one. What was the score of that one? Was 31 to
What, 87?
Yeah, it was a blowout.
I think they got a little bit higher in the 30s at some point. I think Florida came out and scored early, and then after that, it was all Tigers.
Right.
And if I remember correctly,
you didn't
Auburn
see those kind of point totals a lot.
Not back then, and they exploded on Florida, and they didn't really get going until about midway through the second quarter either. But when they opened up the gates, they opened up the floodgates. I do remember. I believe the Florida Auburn game in '89 was 10-7.
It was 10-7. I know that one for sure.
That was at the end of that game. The cups came raining out of the student section. That was the first time I'd ever seen that.
We beat them 29-6. I knew it was a blowout.
God, it felt like more than that.
I know. You know who?
29 points back then. That was a guaranteed Auburn victory.
Oh my God! No doubt. I remember Auburn playing Texas. Was that in '87 too? To start with, there at Metcalf. And we beat them 31-3.
Yeah, it was in '87.
We beat them 31-3.
Opened up the second upper deck with that game. It was a night game and exercised some demons on Texas, who cost us an official national championship in 1983, if I recall. I was in the upper deck for that game. It was a wee little Uncle T-Bone then, though, but it was a hot day, and I remember it. 31 points. Did we score 31 points last football season? Ooh, too soon?
That's a good question.
Too soon? Not in the red zone. Oh, on fire today, Blowtorch.
Just rocking them, rolling them out, knocking them out. I remember that game, 31-3. Again, when you see totals back in the late 80s where Auburn put 29, 30, 31 points up on the board.
They beat somebody.
They beat somebody's brains out. Now, Auburn got their brains beat out some too now. I think Tennessee came to Auburn No, it was 1985 when we were number one, went up there. Well, no, they came to Auburn, too, and beat us one year pretty bad.
We were real young then. That would have been 90, 80, 82, somewhere in there.
Maybe something like that.
I think that was Not and Dye's first year.
Now, I was at the 90 Auburn-Tennessee game where we tied them.
Came back late with Stan White as a freshman.
Yeah, at that game, too.
It's outside tailgating for that game. Never went into that game.
26-26, I think the score was, and it was like.
Well, it's a good Tennessee team too.
Extremely good Tennessee team.
Carl Pickens.
90 Florida State game was the Fumblerooski play where big Walter Tate fell on the football. I think he deflated it when he fell on it. And then we beat them 20-17. I mean, it's crazy.
Jim Von Weil. How about that kid from Akron, Ohio? Do you remember this call though from the '80s? You ever listen to those old Jim Fife tapes from 1987? And Ogletree hits the quarterback for Texas. I think his last name was Stafford, and he said, "Somebody laid the wood to him."
That's a good call, man.
Isn't that awesome?
Jim Fife.
Maybe we'll get to celebrate these. Maybe 30 years, 40 years from now, when we're still maybe here, probably not me, but you, and there'll be the next generation talking about how they were at Tiger games when we finally got going again. Wouldn't that be nice?
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice to get started.
Right. And, I know that we're going to dive into portal here in just a minute, when we come back from our first break, but talking about what it's going to take to get back there, and we got to get the players. And I've been very impressed so far with what Auburn's been able to do in the portal, go out and get needs. Faith and I were at practice during the spring. We went to most all of them, and, I was impressed with our offensive line, even though Connor Lew and Too Tall Miller wasn't – they really weren't in the mix because they were kind of nursing some injuries and trying to get back fully healthy to go into fall camp. But when you didn't drop off too much and you had some new guys in there, that should be – and Jason talked about it this morning on the podcast – it's finally encouraging to see that we got some true depth on the offensive line and we're developing players. Because do you remember the last time we had a big-name offensive lineman go in the first round?
Had to be Braden Smith, right?
You nailed it.
With the Colts?
You nailed it. God. You know how long ago that was? It's ridiculous. I mean, so I think we've had 8.
2010, I guess.
I think we've had 8 offensive linemen drafted in the last 18 years. 8.
Total?
Total.
In the entire draft?
In the entire draft.
Man.
If you want to know why Auburn's been deficient offensively.
Herb Hand had them going, man.
Herb Hand. Some names that you forget, and then you bring them back up, and you're like, I know why I forgot that name. All right, up against our first break of the show. Don't go anywhere. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
Adams Motorsports of Montgomery knows it's the best time to ride. Right now, get the best deals on all of our Suzuki and Kawasaki street bikes, side-by-sides, four-wheelers, and dirt bikes. Adams Motorsports has it all, and our inventory is vast. Get out there, ride the streets and trails, and let Adams Motorsports make your pleasure our business. With family customer service and service after the sale. It's time to ride, so come see us on Eastern Boulevard in Montgomery or online at adamsmotorsports.com.
Are you looking for a great deal on a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC full-size truck? Check out the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierras side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take your choice of new Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks discounted up to $12,000 off. Chevy and GMC heavy-duty trucks discounted up to $7,000 off. Make the savings drive to Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. 45 minutes left in the show today. Again, want to thank Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply Stores, J.A. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
Sense-A-Green Heating, Cooling, and Insulation for air that's cool and clean. Check us out at senseagreen.com.
Absolutely. Going to go over, since you and I don't get a chance to do the show often together, I got to get your take. Brian Harsin, of course, left
Here we go.
a complete mess. And again, this is why we talk about where Hugh Freeze is right now. And Hugh Freeze is really recruited well, and his staff is recruited well. And they're on track to have another outstanding class coming in 26. Wade, and look, Coach Freeze talked to us about it after A-Day. He said, the roster is way better and it's starting to look like a roster that you can compete in the top part of this conference. But he said, and I don't think he means that he needs to be given a pass and given another year. He's like, I do still think we're another year away from really having it where we are, we can go out and compete now. He wasn't trying to, I don't want people to read that like he's trying to already make an excuse. That's not what he was saying. He's like, he was trying to say it in a nice way. This roster was so decimated.
It was.
That it is taking them 3 full years and probably going to need, the better part of the next one in class to come in with transfer portal help to get it to where they really feel good about, okay, now we can take this group out there and we should be able to play with anybody in the country at any site, any stadium, whatever, home, road, neutral site, and all that. So the reason we talk about that is because Brian Harsin did, literally, and this is not sour grapes for us. I don't know that I've ever witnessed a guy that didn't know how to recruit or refused to recruit the way he did, man. It's unbelievable. And the reason we talk about that is, and here's one of the analysts here for Cal on Twitter, since Brian Harsin arrived at Cal as the team's offensive coordinator, the team's starting quarterback, top 5 running backs, of course, Jay Knott went to Oklahoma. He was one of the, we've played him the last 2 years. He's going to have to play him again this year. 5 of its
NFL caliber running
There's
back.
no question about it. 5 of its top 7 wide receivers and top tight end have all entered the transfer portal. And it's like Blaine Crane said. He said, showed up to Cal, the whole offense hit the portal. Man's got the reverse Midas touch. Everything he touches, he ruins.
Well, he ruined Auburn football for the time being.
Dude, he was one more year really away. If they had not pulled the plug and got rid of him when they did, dude, we were one more season away from,
From the death penalty?
Irreparable damage.
Well, listen, first of all, with the talent on the roster now, I think that Auburn's able to compete with just about anybody talent-wise. All rosters are moving and shaking and coming and going now. Let's just be real honest. If you took a hard look at Alabama's roster and you took a hard look at Auburn's roster right now,
right,
are they that far apart?
I don't
know. It's hard to say today. What will it look like also to start
Right.
the season. I mean, this time of year, I was beginning to go to Publix to look for that Athlons and Lindy's.
True.
No point in even getting them now.
No.
I mean, have they already been published?
Well,
with
whatever
me?
gets published is expired.
Exactly. And so what's the roster going to look like? And I think we'll hold it together from here on out pretty well, but anything could happen. But what's the roster going to look like for Auburn come game one that Friday of Labor Day weekend against Baylor? I can promise you it's going to look a lot better than it did under Brian Harsin. The guy was a louse. In my opinion, he's the worst hire in the history of my lifetime of SEC football as a head coach. Name somebody worse.
I don't know of one.
Can we get one in the comment section?
Well,
anyone out there? Bueller, Gary DiNardo was better.
Way better.
Curly Hallman, maybe.
Taking him way more than Brian Harsin. Like, you know, looking at what some of these Cal people are saying, and you know, when you get fired or you leave and however that works, you move on, right? And the constant trolling that he did on Twitter, and cheers to the winners, the continued pot shot back at Auburn.
It was trite.
Well, I mean, so, you know, who's feeling sorry for this guy when he knew exactly what he was doing and everything was calculated? I mean, he could have just moved on, and yeah, there are going to be some bitter fans at the way he left the program. But, you know, you need to be the bigger person who just got paid a boatload of money. Move on and go find you another job if you want to.
Man.
But he's too busy trolling on Twitter and going, well, I don't understand why people keep taking all these shots at me and all this stuff. Well, you know, go back and look at your Twitter feed, dude.
There'll be bitter fans even in programs that are constantly winning. Because fans are going to be fans. You know, if you just got an $18 million buyout or whatever it was, I think I can let people take shots at me on Twitter all day long for that and move it on along. But he just couldn't let it go.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, a couple of things about it, in my opinion. I don't know who hired that guy other than the AD, but, you know, did he just do that by himself?
That's Alan Green.
If any of those,
nobody knew that. Did anybody have that on their bingo card?
No.
I remember when that was announced.
But you know someone had to have empowered Alan Green to do that. I mean, he just doesn't go and make that decision as a short-time AD because it looks like it. But, you know, if there's anybody ever associated with Auburn still that was associated with that hire, they need to just be taken out back and shot, in my opinion. And then secondly, like I said, the guy was the worst hire that I can remember in any sport in the SEC in my lifetime. I mean, name some worse ones. I mean, he was horrible.
I don't really know that.
He never got it. He never cared to get it. He didn't want to get it. He didn't
fit in.
He didn't fit in not only with Auburn, but he didn't have any relationships with his players hardly.
Well, if anything,
has any of his players ever stood up and said, no, y'all are wrong about Coach Harsin here at Auburn? He was fantastic.
And if anything, the stories that came out is how much he alienated guys.
You know.
And didn't have anything to do with them. I want you to address this when we come back. Steve's got a question. He said, was the roster so decimated that we lost to New Mexico State by 21 points? I'll talk about that when we come back. I'm not giving Hugh Freeze a pass on some eggs that have been laid.
I think if you've ever watched this show, no one gets a pass.
No, nobody gets a pass, even us. We don't even give ourselves a pass. But we'll talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
For air that's cool and clean, call Sensi Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensigreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit Sensigreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Sensi Green.
This is Kathy Holmes with Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. Jeff Verner and I opened in East Montgomery 25 years ago and have become the premier butcher shop, wine retailer, and caterer in the River region. We are excited to invite you to our newest location at 2459 East Glen Avenue in Auburn, Opelika. We want to become your one-stop shop for the freshest cuts of meat in town, grab-and-go casseroles, gift items, and the best wine selection in the area. Think of us when catering your next event. Check us out online at steaksandwine.com for daily lunch specials and details on upcoming wine tastings and fun events.
Presley Appliance and Furniture, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, is locally owned and operated with over 35 years of experience in the appliance and furniture business. Specializing in Amana, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Ashley Furniture, Presley Appliance services what they sell and will make sure you receive top-notch customer service. Call them today at 256-329-9762 or drop by to see them on Cherokee Road in Alexander City. Presley Appliance and Furniture, where they service what they sell.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We're your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes. They're installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Looking for the perfect spot to unwind? Welcome to Bunkers. Our friendly staff and vibrant atmosphere make Bunkers the ultimate hangout space for all ages. With 6 state-of-the-art golf simulator stations, you can play around with friends no matter the weather. Enjoy mouth-watering food and a wide variety of handcrafted mixed drinks. With our attached parking deck, access is always hassle-free. Make your next night out unforgettable at Bunkers.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
Chick-fil-A is always the best option when you're on the go, but they are also great when it comes to planning your next event. From tailgating to birthday parties to weddings. Call Chick-fil-A Alexander City at 256-289-7955 for catering or order on the Chick-fil-A app. Make sure to choose the Alexander City location and have your catering order ready to go. Nugget trays, mac and cheese trays, fruit trays, cookie trays, gallons of our famous lemonade or tea, and chilled grilled chicken sub sandwiches, and a lot more options. Make it Chick-fil-A Alexander City for your next event. Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Halfway through our program means it's time to talk about Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine on East Glen and in Montgomery out at Pepper Tree. Kathy and everybody out there, just Jeff back in the back with the meat department. It's just the best food that you'll have. I mean, and the specials that they ran during Easter, they'll have more specials coming up. They do so much for the communities, but the deals are unbelievable. They've got one of the best wine selections anywhere you'll go.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere you go.
I know that selection well.
So maybe a little bit too well. And the pork chops, the steaks, the tiger tails, the ribs, it's all unbelievable, man. I get them to cater as much stuff as I can throughout the year.
Yeah, the tiger tails are unbelievable.
Ridiculous.
And I tell you what, they got a really good lunch, too. A lot of people don't know about that. Stop by there. They have a new lunch menu just about every day.
Every day.
And it's affordable for real high quality
that's
food.
what I'm
you
saying.
go to lunch now and you just get they just
dude, you could
wear you out.
They had an Easter special going. I know we talked about it for like 2 weeks, but it was pork tenderloin and the sides and bread and all the stuff that goes with it for $75. Dude, you can't go to a fast food restaurant now with 4 people, and if you told them to get whatever you wanted on the menu, go look at your bill, it'd probably be $50-$60. I mean, I'm not exaggerating.
You
dude.
can't go to Captain D's for less than $50.
So, again, you go to
cardiologist.
You got that right, and it costs you a little bit more than that. So go to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine. They'll take care of you. Great food, great atmosphere there. Steve's question: was the roster so decimated that we lost to New Mexico State by 21 points?
All right, you got a phone call there, Brett. But
all right.
I'll attempt to that answer.
I'll let you.
It was decimated enough to lose to Mexico State, but not by that much.
No, not by that much. So, all right, let's go to the Eric McKinley Mortgage Pro Hotline. Welcome in the caller. Caller, go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
What's up, Charles?
Okay, I know Brian Harsin was a pretty poor, bad coach, but Blitz report said Curly Hallman at LSU was a bad one. Raymond Wolf at Florida and Charles Sierra from Mississippi
I don't even know who the hell.
Yeah, I
Raymond
think we were
Wolf
talking
was.
about in our lifetime, Charles. But I do remember Curly Hallman and called him out, former Alabama player who coached at LSU and got up by about 40 points against Auburn in 1994 and decided to continue to throw the ball and threw the ball into them getting beat and him getting fired.
I was at that one, by the way.
That was a hot day.
On the name Mike DeBose and Derek Dooley.
Well, Mike DeBose
won an SEC championship.
Yeah.
Brian Harsin never sniffed anything.
Derek Dooley was pretty bad.
He's not as bad as Harsin.
He got a lot better attitude.
Yeah, he was a more likable guy.
Well, Derek Dooley did the smart thing, which Brian Harsin, I guess, was never capable of doing. And, hey, thanks for the call, Charles.
Thanks, Charles. Appreciate you.
And went to the NFL afterwards and just kind of became a career NFL assistant and moved on with his life and didn't badger Tennessee fans on social media. Brian Harsin tried to go to the NFL. I think the Chargers ran him off because he's such a louse. And then he got on Twitter and started attacking folks.
Again, put the target squarely on his back and stay off social media chiding and prodding the former fan base where you completely and totally crap the bed. I mean, here's the problem, and here's what we were hearing from the high school ranks, all right? So we were talking to coaches, and some of the more prominent coaches in the state were going, we ain't never seen the guy. He's never been to our school. He hasn't even made a phone call. And we know for a fact, and I'm not going to go into detail on the whole story, but there was two prominent defensive players, and they were supposedly in a staff meeting, and one of those guys called to talk to him, and he said, tell him we're in a staff meeting, we'll call him back. This was a 5-star, top-ranked defensive player, and he's going, no, we'll call him back. No, guess what you're going to do? When you call back, he ain't going to be there. And so just the whole philosophy of where he was, like on Friday nights in games and his coaching staff, they never were – I mean, where you used to see Auburn assistant coaches at all these games, you saw none.
One of the first things that Hugh Freeze did at Auburn was try and reestablish any kind of pipeline and connection to high school coaches.
And he knocked it out of the park.
In the state of Alabama, you have seen that pay huge dividends in the recruiting rankings since Hugh Freeze has been here, especially in the state of Alabama, especially while there was some influx, some transition at the University of Alabama where you could kind of pry into some areas, perhaps with a coaching change of Saban to DeBoer. I think Alabama's kind of gotten that back together, but you can't say that he hasn't gone out there on the recruiting trail and done exactly what you have to do to be competitive, and he's doing the same on in the transfer portal as well. I think Auburn has enough talent now to compete, at least to be in the top 20, and there's no more excuses, and it better begin to show. Back to the person who asked about the New Mexico State game, with the very first game in Waco, Texas this year. It's time for Auburn to make a statement that it's been 6 years and long enough since we've been relevant. Auburn fans are tired of it, and that Friday night in Texas is the time to do it.
Well, and look, we'll definitely take a win. but we need to go out there and not kick a field goal to beat Baylor. All right, we need to go out there, like you said, and send a statement to everybody that this is a different Auburn program now. It's taken us 4 or 5 years to kind of get things back on track, but you're going to have to play good to beat this team. Auburn's not going to show up and turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and wallow around in its own crap and give you a game. You know, they're going to come out there, and if you beat this team, then you had to play well to do it. And so that's really what we have not seen in a long time at Auburn. It's where they force the issue, and if a team wins the game, if they win it, they have to go win it. It's not by accident. It's not by gift.
2008 Labor Day weekend, that Saturday night, Nick Saban and Alabama went up to the old dome, the old Georgia Dome.
You talking about when they played Clemson?
And they ended Tommy Bowden's career in the Chick-fil-A game to kick off the season and made a statement that Alabama football was back and we're going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's time for Auburn to make any kind of statement moving in that direction. I think they can do it. The complaints I've had with Freeze were, I don't know, possible game preps, the letdowns against people like New Mexico State where you just didn't look like you were even prepared to play,
right,
and the fact that you wouldn't run the ball when you needed to run the ball. If he will play to this roster's strengths, let DJ Durkin do his deal on defense, which he will, I think Auburn's in for a really good season. But if they start doing the stuff that they did last year, this is going to be it for Coach Freeze. There's no more excuses.
No, we're put up or shut up time. All right, up against another break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
This is Joseph Dean with Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory. I am pleased to announce that Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is now open to serve the public at our location on the corner of 49 North and 280 West in Dadeville. Please stop by and see lifelong resident of Dadeville, Molly Kaler, who will be running the office and meeting with families who want to plan ahead and pre-need their services. We are also available by phone 256-750-0381 or online at lakemartinfuneralhome.com.
Bucks Island is your boating headquarters. Are you ready to hit the water and go boating this summer? Bucks Island has all kinds of boats with one sure to fit exactly what you want. Fishing boats, sport boats, pontoon boats, and all with low monthly payments. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Bucks Island Service Department experts are also here for you to keep your boat in top running condition. Call 1-800-I'm-READY. Don't be left standing on the bank this summer. Visit online at bucksisland.com and don't buy a boat till you get a Bucks quote.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill and Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life. EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area. Are you ready to showcase your skills and compete with the best in Alabama? The 42nd Alabama State Games are coming to Birmingham and Jefferson County from June 13th through the 15th, and it's your chance to be part of something incredible. Athletes from across the state will compete in sports ranging from archery to wrestling. Those participating in the opening ceremony are eligible for academic scholarships ranging from $500 to $5,000. Mark your calendar. Registration opens March 1st. Visit allagames.com.
When you want quality, selection, price, superior financing, and a pain-free buying experience, look no further than Sons Automotive Group of Montgomery and Auburn. Sons of Montgomery offers the best selection of Kias, Chryslers, Dodges, Jeeps, and Ram trucks. Conveniently located on Eastern Boulevard, Sons Ford of Auburn is the region's Ford volume dealer. And when you shop at any Sons location, they will maximize all incentives and financing options for anyone's credit. Whether Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram in Montgomery, or Ford in Auburn, Sons Automotive treats you like family because they are family driven.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Here, a couple segments left on today's show. Yes, John, we are really live today. We are live in action. We do our show on Mondays. Faith and I do a podcast style show on Monday, so it's tape, but it's that day, but it's just we're not live, but we're live Tuesday through Friday. So John also wanted to say that he thinks you're the guy that he brought his homemade salsa to. He said you can tell me how good it was.
I think I remember that. Really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
is he gonna bring us some more?
He said he would. He said he'd bring us some at some point.
Bring it on.
Appreciate it, John. All right, let's talk about Nico. I know it's not Auburn stuff, but it affects college football, and we will dive in. Like, if you want to hear us talk about the portal today and stuff, it was on the podcast. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe if you haven't done that, and go back and watch. Me and Randy and Jason were on this morning, and we kind of went through the entire additions that Auburn's picked up in football and maybe some other need positions that Auburn's going to possibly take before all is said and done. But we haven't really talked because it's not Auburn talk, but Nico Imialiava goes to UCLA. And how about their quarterback goes to Tennessee yesterday? They did a swap. Basically, UCLA's quarterback went to Tennessee, and Nico goes to UCLA. I mean, are we just trading now?
Didn't Oregon trade us like 3 players for Bo Nix?
I think so. Yeah, it's like Jason Jones and the kid that was in the secondary. It was pretty daggum good. DJ James, who was the defensive back on the Gravedigger, by the way. Yeah, terrible. And then one other kid.
The quarterback. I forgot his name.
Oh, Robbie Ashford.
Yeah, great trade, Auburn. Got some oceanfront property in Notasulga I'd like to sell you, too. Highway 14, you can see the sea real cheap. I mean,
that may go down as one of the worst trades.
I mean, what were they thinking? Bo Nix is like rookie of the year almost.
He wasn't going to be if he.
We got great.
That tells you another thing. That all right, since we brought it back up, all right, you're going to talk about another feather in the doo-doo cap of Brian Harsin. That dadgum Bo Nix is a legacy and one of the best quarterbacks in the country and one of the best to ever play high school football, and he runs him off. I mean, when his dad played quarterback here, he wanted to be a lifer at Auburn, and he even said, I can't take it anymore. I got to go all the way across the country and finish my career at Auburn, which worked out good for him.
People don't want to hear this. He made the right choice.
No, he absolutely made the right choice.
Fact.
I mean, if he had stayed at Auburn one more year.
They might have got him killed.
No doubt. No doubt. So, but anyway.
Well, sure would have been nice to have him that first year under Hugh Freeze, though. Golly. Man, well, the Nico kid from Tennessee, because we could just talk about that all
Yeah,
day
we
long.
can dive all into that.
You know, listen, one thing that I think happened with this former Tennessee quarterback is finally you're beginning to see something that I predicted with all this and have been preaching about, been on my soapbox about forever, is that the free market is eventually going to catch up with the current market.
Right.
And I am totally against federal government intervention into college football especially, but college athletics as a whole. The more government, the worse off you are. I mean, how's hardcore government worked for communists over the years? It's been a complete and abject failure, and they get to poking around college football. This is going to drag on even further, and the system is going to correct itself. And by that, mean that is the free market will correct itself. Finally, a team said, and a fan base, enough is enough, kid. Adios. And good for Tennessee. I've been reading some of these articles on AL.com by that Jeff Goodman fellow.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just attacking Tennessee, calling them poor, saying that they weren't able to come up with the funds or they should pay Nico whatever to keep him. Bye. We'll take a bad season finally to correct this. We'll be fine. No one's bigger than the program. No one's bigger than the university itself, and no one's bigger than college football, not even Nick Saban, even although he's close. Get out. Good riddance. Goodbye. We'll figure it out with you. And finally, and you saw what happened to him. Once that happened, his market value plummeted.
And
bye.
I called it 2 weeks ago. I said he'd either end up at UCLA or USC. And it's not like I was some future soothsayer, could see the future. It's just you knew he'd go back out toward California, and they would take him at a discounted cost. I hate it. Look, I have nothing personal against the kid, but I hate that anybody picked him up. This was a small victory for college football.
Agreed.
In the fact that somebody didn't go out there and meet his demands or his dad's demands or whatever. All right, and we also know that with this comes a lot of baggage, and UCLA was like, well, we'll take the risk, but nobody's pulling for him. You know everybody's wanting him to fall in his face. And here's another thing. He left Tennessee, and he's saying his market value was all this. What did he – they went to the playoffs, but what did he do? Was he that great a quarterback last year? I mean, if my memory serves me correct, he ran out of bounds against Arkansas when they were losing 19-14 with no time on the clock. And instead of at least throwing it in the end zone from the 20-yard line, he just jogs out of bounds. Like, well, what the hell do you think's going to happen when you jog out of bounds with no time on the clock?
I guess he made a business decision.
I guess he did to lose the game.
There are videos against Alabama where receivers are wide open and he throws the worst passes you've ever seen. But his market value plummets. And not only that, this is a stain on his reputation that will continue all the way until if he ever thinks he's going to get drafted in the NFL. NFL executives are going to look at that. They're going to look at his dad's meddling. They're going to look at his decision-making off the field and say, we'll take it.
You just said the same word that Cam Newton used on this podcast. The stain on his character will carry on.
It will.
Regardless if he didn't the people that helped him make this decision cost they've
cost him millions.
But it's him that everybody will remember, not his dad. Up against the final break of the show. Stay tuned. One final segment right after this.
J.A. Smith Construction, licensed general contractor and your trusted choice for land clearing and grading, site work, underground utilities, concrete paving, and material hauling. They also do storm drain installations, fish ponds, and slough dredging. Call Alexander at 256-896-1400 or email asmith@jasmithconstruct.com. No job is too big or too small for J.A. Smith Construction, the top choice for all of your land service needs.
For air that's cool and clean, call Senza Green. For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Turn to the experts at Sensagreen and find out how to get up to $1,000 in carrier cool cash rebates. Visit Sensagreen.com today to be worry-free when it comes to your home comfort and indoor air quality.
For air that's cool and clean, care about the air you breathe, call Senza Green.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama. Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Grain and Leaf, located at 6068 Highway 63 South, is Lake Martin's premier boutique-style bottle shop with a unique array of sophistication for everyone. Appropriately named for its exclusive selection of top spirits, wine, and craft beer, Grain and Leaf also has a number of fine cigars for you to choose from. They also carry the full line of Hornsby Farms assorted jellies and pottery. Open 10 to 7 Monday through Saturday and noon to 5 on Sundays, Grain and Leaf is your premier shop in the Lake Martin area.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Are you ready to showcase your skills and compete with the best in Alabama? The 42nd Alabama State Games are coming to Birmingham and Jefferson County from June 13th through the 15th, and it's your chance to be part of something incredible. Athletes from across the state will compete in sports ranging from archery to wrestling. Those participating in the opening ceremony are eligible for academic scholarships ranging from $500 to $5,000. Mark your calendar. Registration opens March 1st. Visit allagames.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. Again, thanks to Russell Dewitt Center and Building Supply Stores, J. Smith Construction and Excavation, and
get HVAC smart at Sensagreen Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Check us out at www.sensagreen.com. Real quick, $1 days will end here in April. Fantastic deals on all types of new systems, services, and insulation work. So for air that's cool and clean, call us at Sensagreen.
Yeah, I've got to read something from Andy first. Andy said the only coach that even comes close to being as bad as Brian Harsin was Tony Barbee, and the only one that rivals him is Sonny Galloway. So we have the trifecta in the Hall of Shame.
Up here on Lake Martin, we like to call that Jabba. Jabba, Jabba, oh, Jabba, Jabba.
And then, drum roll, please, to end the show. I like, sometimes you wonder if some of this stuff, even what world are we living in? But the college football playoff meeting will be in Dallas, Texas, I think tomorrow. And according to some sources, and I'm just reading some of this stuff that's coming out, here is maybe some of the things they're considering to go into determining who makes the 12-team playoff. Are you ready for this?
Okay.
All right, it says one possibility which could be viewed as a compromise. First of all, compromise to what? Is having conferences earn automatic bids through their play each season. Okay. All right, I got no harder schedule, whatever. a model in which each Power 4 league can earn guaranteed spots through a combination of its team's overall records, and maybe TV ratings according to a source. Are you serious right now, dude? I mean, like, the highest ranked conferences would earn the most automatic bids. So we're going to look now for the SEC and the Big Ten. That works out great because all the eyeballs are on them. And that look, but are we really serious right now? Is that how we're going to determine? Because obviously we know that money is what's driving this bus, and it drives everything. But I mean that might be the most. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Uncredible way to choose a team to go to the playoffs that I've ever a TV rating.
Everything that's ever happened in college football behind the scenes, everything that ever happens in the dark eventually comes to the light. And it just tells me that there's been serious discussions and considerations in the past, Brett, that yeah, if we put this team in the playoffs, there's going to be better ratings. And now they're just out in the open talking about it. Just like how players were paid somehow, some way forever, at least at big-time programs. Now it's just all a big negotiation out in the public. It's all out there. Anything that's ever happened, the past is prologue now in college athletics. Well, there's no – and people may come back and say, well – there was no integrity ever to begin with. I disagree with that. I think there was a day, yeah, people got paid, and there were things nefariously that went on. Wade, we know that, but they tried to make rules to bring things closer to center and to try to regulate. But now we just go to court and we just take the NCAA to court and render them powerless. And I'm not defending the NCAA because they've made plenty of mistakes over the years. But there is no governing body now, and so it's just free will, do whatever the heck you want to do. And it's unfortunate that they're and I know there's still kids that care about the school they're at and they want to be. But that's the reason you went to college back in the day, is to get an education, to have, if you were good enough, to have an opportunity to play at the next level professionally. But at the end of the day, there was a dedication and a loyalty to that school, and it was about you playing with some pride and running through a brick wall for that school, and it meant something in these rivalries. And now, Faith and I talked about this the other day. I think that people come and go so much, they don't even know what traditions are at each school, nor do they even appreciate some of these rivalries. I mean, they get told about it. They may have an understanding, but it's not ingrained in them and in passion and emblazoned in their DNA about, hey, man, I've grown up wanting to play against them, and I'm going to go out there and lay it on. It's just not that way anymore. If you're making $25, $30 million a year like Charlie Baker does, the head of the NCAA, are you really wanting to see anything go into litigation and that get exposed and outed? That organization is making gabillions of dollars. No, you're just trying to, let's just keep everybody happy out there and keep this train just slowly moving up on the track. Nothing to see here, Brett. Move it on along, baby. I mean, that's, you said it. It's about the money now, and it's only about the money. And, boy, that's a shame. It's turning people off. College athletics used to be more than just about that. But man, it does turn people off. I think that I know a lot of people, specifically our age and older, who are beginning to turn the TV off on Saturdays. They're not paying as close attention, right? I mean, I can put a handful of players' names and numbers together. You don't get as upset about losing a game anymore like I do. Not unless it's just something stupid like not running the ball on 1st and 10 from the Oklahoma 39 when you're up by 11 with 9 minutes left in the game. Now, I don't get upset about stuff. I'm sorry I brought up. Yeah, no. Just throw it twice and give them 2 free timeouts and then miss a field goal and lose the game. Sounds and then throw a bomb. And yeah. Not that. No, I never get upset about that kind of stuff anymore. Yeah, right. Moving on from that, it's the passion though is dwindling from a lot of fans. I hear people at different fan bases go, you know what, man, I don't let this stuff bother me anymore. Well, listen, you run a business,
Well, the
you own a
Pierce-
business. Brandy, y'all all are business people. Every time you have a loss in a business situation, you just can't lose your mind like it was the Iron Bowl, right? It's
Right.
just business.
That's it.
And so you manage it and move on. And that's how I think a lot of fans are right now. They're just managing their fandom and just letting all the passion ooze out of it.
I think you're right. You know, the purest form, as you move from NFL down, it was the further you got away, the pure form of the game. You know, Division I, then Division II, Division III, whatever, and then down to high school is the purest form. Well, now it's all infiltrated.
Well, they're recruiting in high
It's
school.
infiltrated that now, NIL and everything else.
Brett, it is Beast Mode's birthday today.
Beast Mode's birthday.
Marshawn Lynch.
There you go.
How about that?
And we'll have to run down the rest of these birthdays tonight on Sports Blitz Live. Andy and I will be with you at 7 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for that. Wade, good to see you, brother.
Thanks for having me.
Always glad
Lots
to
of
have
fun.
Uncle T-Bone in here with us, and we'll have him back very soon. For Wade, I'm Brett saying we've enjoyed it. Well, see you next time.